all alone. All I have to do is live a good moral life. Go ahead. Even a good moral life will disintegrate one day.
Yeah.
And you'll be shown for what you are.
Wow.
Are you ready? Are you really ready? For some of us here, we got to understand this. You can just write this down as I'm striving to keep my message one track minded. Just the one thing I want us to be tunnel vision when it comes to Scripture. Focus on it. Singular thought. Are you saved or you're not saved?
Wow.
I'm going to preach that until Jesus comes back. It's either we're saved or we're not saved.
That's right.
And just because you're saved once doesn't mean you're saved all the time.
Yeah.
That's another misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Just call it what it is.
Yeah.
It is a false teaching.
Come on.
Show me. Bring your preacher, bring your bishop, bring your lawyers, because Jesus is my defender, He's my Lord. And we'll talk about the Scriptures and we'll sort it out. But don't run away going, I can't believe that man said that, because I'm just a man reading the Scriptures.
That's right, bro.
You're going to face the ballistic bomb of Jesus Christ one day. Then He will drop the mic and it'll be done. No more. In Philippians 4:13, right? Just write this down. It says, I can do all things through Him who gives me strength.
Yeah.
And yet this year, we're already being challenged.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, New Year's resolution. No offense to the Chin family, but my New Year's resolution is to kill all the Chins.
Oh, come on, Chin Killer.
And yet God says, you draw the oil from me. I can do all things. And we can do all things through Him who gives us the oil to stand the time until the bridegroom comes back. Amen?
Amen.
In Luke 8:43, you can just write this down. It says, who touched me? Jesus asked. And the disciples were looking at Him going, what's wrong with Jesus? There's like thousands of people over here were crowded around the elevator. Jesus said, hey, did someone touch me? Did anybody notice? Did anybody get the license plate of that guy? We're walking in the crowd and someone touched me, and the disciples are so dumb. Right?
Come on.
Jesus Christ. Mr. Christ. Did you know that there are a lot of people around us? He goes, I know, I get it, guys. But I know it wasn't one of you guys, because this one, my power came out of me. Someone had faith. Someone had faith and understanding that I was the Messiah. I know. I already took you 12 out of it. So were there any ATM machines or cameras anywhere? Was anybody taking a selfie? Because I'm trying to find out who this person was. Because I am tired, man. I am poured out. Someone touched me. They believed that I was the Christ. And I felt my power come out from me.
Wow.
But even Jesus in Mark 1 went out while it was still dark to a lonely, dark place to draw strength from the Father. Because He knew that He needed to fill His oil lamp.
Yeah.
So that He would be found faithful when God would have His exact time when He would get Him. And if Jesus knew this, should we not know this as well?
Yeah.
In Mark 1:35. But let's continue reading in Matthew 25, verse 31. Is this good knowledge for us to continue on this walk?
Yeah.
Does this help us?
Yeah.
Amen, bro.
I got to do things that are helpful. And in verse 31 of Matthew 25, we continue, and it says, when the Son of Man comes in His glory, wow, and all the only holy angels with Him, wow, He will sit on His glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before Him, and He will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on His right and the goats on His left. This is nothing short of a phenomenal scene. I mean, if anybody could direct a film like this, it's got to be Tarantino. I mean, or maybe even Mel Gibson. He's shown himself, or Ron Howard, maybe. Steven Spielberg. That's got to be a little bit funny right there. But this description is talking about judgment. Judgment Day. And what's crazy is that it's not like, oh, go gather this nation of people, and hey, can somebody send a warning over to the Hawaiians over there in the Hawaiian Islands? Just press the button. I don't care if it's on air. Just do it, and then let them know I'm coming. He says He's going to judge all nations. How in the world is Jesus Christ going to judge all the way in China, all the way in Japan. Even the North Koreans are going to get some. All the Americans of all places, all the people in the motherland of Africa, all the broken parts of the original world in Europe, all of us, even down in Guam, they're going to get some. People in Poland, even the people in Greenland and Iceland will get some. Everybody in every crevice of the world at one time will be judged as Jesus sits in his throne. I believe the scriptures.
Yeah.
And Jesus is going to do it. Somehow he's got this extreme internet that's something we don't know. It might be even called the outer net, I'm not sure. But he says the Son of Man will come in the glory and of the Father and of all the holy angels, and he'll be sitting down on the throne. He's going to be like, I love this chair. This is awesome. Yeah. Anyways, let's gather the nation. We're all going to do it. Get here. How did you get there? And they'll be like Acts 2, only it's going to be a nasty scene. Men from every nation gathered around to experience something worse than a violent wind, worse than flame over our head, worse than why is this guy speaking my language? We're all going to be speaking the same language. Are we ready? We don't need anybody to interpret that for us. We're going to be like, all these people are from different places. We're all speaking the same language. Oh my gosh. And all of a sudden people are going to fall down to their knees because every knee will bow.
Yeah.
Some of them, like, I already know how this works. Get down on your knees.
Yeah.
Some other people are going to be like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm going on my knee. There'll be some people who can't walk. I was already on my knees. But everybody will be on their knees. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have braces, you're in a wheelchair, Jesus is going to be like, we're going to be on our knees. The Bible says it.
Yeah.
We're all going to drop on our knees.
Yeah.
And we're going to realize our whole life that our knees were never meant to help our legs swivel so we can walk. It was meant to bow down to our Creator. It's going to be amazing. Oh, I get it. Now I know what my knees are from. I thought it was for putting carpet on the car. I thought it was for Tai Bo or Jiu-Jitsu or whatever you do. Muay Thai. You're going to think that those knees were made to bend over and pick up your phone that you dropped again under the car and they asked for it. But the knees were originally invented to bend down and worship God. Just a little bit of pain. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, because you're going to die. It's flesh. It's trying to remind you. You cannot support yourself.
Yeah.
It's meant to remind you. It's in a very vulnerable space. Some of us have a lot of fluid between it and some of us don't. Some of us are going to be like, crap, 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 getting back up. And some of us are going to be like, help me down. Some of us are going to help me up, but don't worry about it. Jesus is going to help you up for the next, whatever comes next. There are no exceptions. It doesn't matter what you've accomplished in your life. You can write all kinds of books. You can be the most beautiful person. You can own the stock markets. You might be the Dow and the Jones. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In the end, we're going to have to answer, are we ready or are we ruined?
Wow.
He says, on his right will be the sheep and on his left will be the goats. Now, how many of you guys grew up around farms? Hey, I'm not surprised about that. And so, I grew up and we had sheep and I don't know why they you know when you count sheep in the cartoon form and they all look fluffy and they all look white and they all have the same shape like clouds. The sheep in my house don't look like that. They actually look a lot like the goats. Sometimes you can't really tell them apart from a distance. But their characteristics are completely different.
Wow.
Yeah, they're completely different. The goats, the sheep's actually, they're cool. My grandfather would come up to me and go, Nana, Nana! And all of a sudden, like a war. It's like, wow. They all text each other, hey, they're calling us. Facebook, Pinterest, they're going, oh wow, look what I can make with my hair. And then the goats, they're very similar. When you look at them, they're 4 legs, they have wool on them and everything. But gosh, goodness gracious, they're stubborn.
Yeah.
Come here, Nana, Nana. What does that mean? Siri, what does Nana mean? They don't oh, my Siri's going on. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that, Siri. Okay. There we go. I worked that out, guys. I'm sorry about that. It's actually happening. I'll pass my time already. So the goats are on one side, and then are you a sheep or a goat? Second point. Are you a sheep or a goat? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But let's continue on verse 34. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance." Wow. The kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. Talk about a well thought out plan.
Yeah.
For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Jesus says, that makes me feel so good. Then he switches this around. He's like, Bible. Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or needy clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, of the brothers and sisters, for one of these." He's talking about the brothers and sisters. He's talking about the church. He's talking about the assembled body. Yet this is one of the most misunderstood, mistaught, misappropriated scriptures of all the scriptures in here, including the baptism part. And Jesus is talking about the family. He says, what you have done for one of these family members, the disciples, you did for me. That's the reason why I told you in 1 John 3, when you lay your life down for your brothers and sisters, you lay your life down for me. That's how you know what true love is.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. He said, now you get it. You get it if you're a true disciple. Yes, is it not right to go out and if you see somebody with no clothes, naturally you're going to, oh, here, you probably need this. Naturally when you see somebody going, like the campus students, right after church, what you're going to get? Here's a cup of noodle. Here's a bag of cereal left over from the winter work. I don't know if this ham's good, but stay warm and well fed. Are you a goat or are you a sheep? I mean, I don't want to go around calling anybody a goat, but if you're independent, you have a mind of your own to the point where you disregard the Lord because you're flattery, like it says in Psalm 36. It says, an oracle is within my heart concerning the sinfulness of the wicked. They cease to be wise and do good. It says they hate their state. They flatter themselves too much to hate or detect their sin.
Yeah.
Even in their bed, they're sleeping in their bed, they're plotting wicked. I devised the wicked plan. Then they commit to its course, and they reject to do what is right.
Right.
Psalm 36 says that in a nutshell. Right? Don't quote me, that's a Garrido version. But are you a sheep or a goat? The parable is an earthly message of a heavenly message. We've got to understand that. Should we go to prison and visit people? I think so. If I was in prison, I would want a pen pal. In fact, I used to be a pen pal for somebody, and that's how my writing got better. And by the way, prisoners have very good writing. I don't know why it is, but they have a lot of good writing. Should we give somebody a cup of water when they're thirsty? Of course we should. Should we clothe them? Absolutely. But the Bible's saying, did you clothe your brother and sister with compassion?
Come on, Mark.
And the mercy and grace that I said to? Or did you get bitter and fall away on account of you couldn't take it because she didn't draw your oil from you to give you the strength
Come on,
until I
Mark.
come back? Did you visit your brother while he was in prison? Captivated by sin, locked in this one confined area, imprisoned by their own sin. Did you go and visit him and say, bro, we need to bail you out of here. We need to get you out of this prison. So here's the thing, is me and the brother, we're going to chip in some prayer, and we're going to beat you up right now. We're going to get you out of here. We're going to bail you out with something more valuable than fine jewelry or gold. We're going to give you the blessings of God. We're going to minister the grace of God to you and give you mercy from above. And that's going to bail you out of where you're at. But sometimes the prisoners go, hey, I'm institutionalized. Just leave me alone in here, okay? Nobody really cares. I don't trust anybody out there. Don't you give me that Bible stuff anymore. think that's why I was so cut to the heart with Hendrix's communion this morning. We see so many.
Yeah.
Right now, today, I look around, just a couple of months ago, these seats were filled.
Yeah.
Just for the East. The West are having their own service. But many have wandered away
Yeah.
because they think they're way wiser than God.
Yeah.
They go, I don't need have that much oil. It's like the guy who tries to go from here to Waimanalo on less than 1/4. And there's no gas station between there. I got this. I mean, if you're not driving a Prius, don't try to think about it. And even if you are driving a Prius, don't try to think about it. Because you don't know when you're going to run out of gas.
Yeah.
Turn to Mark 10 real quick. Actually, I'll just write this down, Mark 10, 35 to 40.
Funny.
The disciples sometimes, they get ahead of themselves. They go, Jesus, do me a favor. Let us sit one on your left and one on your right. We're worthy of it. He's like, you don't even know what you're asking me about. This is an account of the actual disciples. It was an account of James and John, one of his closest, one of his circle of influence, one of his most trusted people. And in the end, towards the end, they're going, Jesus, they don't understand. I want to be on your right. I want to be on your left. And Jesus turned to them and goes, you know what? Yeah. It's not my decision. I'm going to come back when I pass judgment. I just came to save you guys. But in the end, those of you who rejected the very words that I spoke will be condemned. You will be judged by my Father's will. He will decide who will be on my right and who on my left. My Father will decide whether you're a goat or whether you're a sheep by your conduct while you're here on earth.
Come on, Mark.
We got to realize this. But I have some questions for us. Are you foolish or are you bright? Do you have enough oil to sustain you in this walk? And here's the thing is, unlike the gas stations, and unlike the Persian Gulf War, Jesus won't run out of oil. He's not like Saudi Arabia. He's not like Bahrain. He's not like the Middle Eastern oil suppliers. He is a refining company though. He will supply us endless. All we have to do is go and ask what we did not work for, and He will amply supply us. Are you filled with God's Holy Spirit? Are you on the left? You got to ask yourself this. If you're not on the right, you're on the left. But people sometimes will water it down and go, well, I'm not so much in the right. No, that means you're on the left. Don't try to customize it. You're either on the right or you're on the left. You're either a goat or you're a sheep. My challenge for us this morning is simple. Trim your lamps now. Fill it with heavenly oil, the Holy Spirit. Then out of your lamp, you can shine bright until Jesus comes back and illuminate the way for those who are lost and continue to guide those around you who have been found, who once were lost. Take care of the spiritual needs of the flock. Be devoted to each other and be on the right side as a sheep. Don't be the curious goat, because you know what curiosity got us in the form of life. Amen.
Come on, Mark.
Okay, we stand on up and sing our final song. Let's go ahead and bridge the gaps and arm in arm.